Welcome to part two. We should be joined by Ellis any second. Women love him, men want to go for a pint with him. I don't even know if he drinks, to be honest. It don't look like he does. Here we go. Here's Ellis. Getting back onto the Jabar situation, what did you think to the chaos in the corner?
Yeah, I think it's been touched upon, hasn't it? It was a bit of a it was he was mentioning chaos that the whole build up, weren't it? That's a new word he learned, but it was a chaotic corner, wasn't it? And I never like it when you can't see who's clearly in charge. You need a leader, don't you? And I only want to hear one voice, really. I mean, occasionally you might need an input from the cut man or something like that, or whatever, just a one worder. But really, instruction wise, there needs to be one voice, doesn't there? And it's another thing that don't get questioned in the media. Like I say, they never touch upon Dubois quitting and stuff like that, but they never touch upon why do you never give credit to your trainer? Why do you never speak about your trainer? And it's always your dad. Why do you always look for your dad? That's never been asked to Daniel, has it? So it's a really weird relationship they've got going on. I think it's purely like transactional with Don Charles. I think he gets paid and that's it. He's because Daniel ain't interested in him, is he? Well, he doesn't look like he is anyway.
Yeah, it's. Do you reckon they'll come back with him next year now, right? Rest of this year off, or do you think they'll fight Joshua because they've got a contract for Joshua, haven't they?
I think the logical thing to do would be get him out early, get him out soon. Not rest him up, yeah, get him out and keep him active, really. But yeah, the AJ fight, like you say, a few people have been saying AJ will be licking his lips now, and I think it probably would have given him a bit of appetite to come back and have that rematch with Dubois because I mean, let's be honest, they're both similar in stature. They can both bang, and if AJ just went in with the mentality like, look, I'm finished. I'm at the end of my career. I'm going to go out and try and finish him in 3 rounds. There's no saying that he couldn't make Dubois quit himself because as soon as you stick it on Dubois and he's not getting the comfort that he likes where he's a non-top fighter, is he sort of seems like he crumbles and maybe AJ could pull that off. But yeah, I think that would be a good fight to go for if I was AJ next. But we'll see what happens, won't we?
What did you think to B-side Belleu's comments that Dubois is a quitter and he quit a third time and he's a flat track bully?
Uh, I think there's some truth in them comments, isn't there? You can certainly see where he's coming from with that. But the thing, why Bellew grates on me and probably so many hardcores is he don't keep the same energy for everybody, does he? He goes in on some people and not others, and yeah, that's the reason why he rubs people up the wrong way, Bellew. But in them comments, I think he's pretty much spot on. Really, he's a bit of a. He does seem like he's a on top fighter, and when he's on top, he's devastating. And he's no one's denying he's not a big puncher, and he's a gritty heavyweight. But when it goes the opposite way, much like Mike Tyson, really, it sort of it falls like a house of cards, doesn't it? And it all collapses in the ring. So we've seen it a few times now. So he's not wrong in what he's saying.
A week before the fight, I put a video out and I said, will Daniel Dubois quit? Or did I put John Coffey? I said, will he quit again? And I got so much abuse for it, right? But there's people with better boxing knowledge than me who work in the media who were talking the same chat I were talking, but they just wouldn't come out and say it on the social medias. They were saying, no, he'll knock Usyk out. It's his time now. He's a different fighter. And the narrative that they all went with, it become that bad and cringe that people were looking at themselves thinking, have I just heard what he's just said there? That he's going to knock Usyk out. And they were all saying it with straight faces, brick top, the lot of them. But they all really knew what was going to happen. But they've all had to toe that narrative, haven't they?
Yeah, yeah. It's gotten to the point where, for me, I don't necessarily think because you're an ex-boxer, you're a better commentator on the sport than someone who hasn't boxed. It's not necessarily true because a lot of them that get into the media, like you say, they don't speak their mind, so they don't give a true reflection of what they're thinking anyway. And you can get people who've never boxed before, and they're like, "Hang on a minute, no, my eyes ain't seeing that. Where are you getting Dubois going to knock him out from? I've just watched the last fight last night as a refresher, and he got soundly outboxed. And you can make your own opinion, can't you? But much like ex-footballers, I think a lot of them talk nonsense, and it's just because you've participated in that sport. I don't think it gives you more credence, but it does to a degree because with boxing, you've walked the walk, and we're talking about a warrior sport here, so it does hold some weight that they've done it. But I just feel like you can't really trust what comes out of half of these guys' mouths because they toe the company line, don't they?
Yeah, yeah, they do.
Mm.
Uh, who next then for Usyk? They were saying Parker, but a lot of people are saying that they think that Usyk's going to vacate and that Parker and Atoma are going to go at it after he's done Dillian White. For vacant belt. What do you think to that?
That I like the sound of that. I do like the sound of that. I think Usyk is just so far ahead at the top of the table that he can say, "Oh, you're a good prospect. You're a good prospect. Go on, have a little one of my belts and have a little fight out for it. I'll fight the winner and beat you easily." That's just what he can do, can't he? Because I mean, he could go straight in with a Parker, he could go straight in with an Atom, he could go straight in with a Cabel and beat them. But it's more interesting for me. I don't really, having seen that against the Bois the other week. I don't really want to see another Usyk fight straight away because I know what's going to happen. We know the what's going to happen in the fight. So as a hardcore, I want to see what would Cabell do with Parker. What will Parker do with Cabell? What will Itoma do with Parker? Let's have a look. You know what I mean?
Mm.
If chuck him in with Usyk, it's a whitewash job, isn't it, for any of them names? So for a more interesting fight proposition, I want to see these prospects and contenders go at it and earn the shot, really.
I'd like to see Caballel get his shot. He's 32 now, undefeated. He seems to have been hanging around for ages. I know he's a German and he's not commercially viable, they keep saying, and all that. They keep putting him in
Yeah,
hard fights, trying to get him out of the way, don't they?
yeah, he keeps pulling out them body shots, doesn't he? Which is a rare thing to see. But yeah, he's a contender, and he's definitely got a shout at the world title now, and he has earned his stripes. But I just think he's probably again easy work for Usyk, isn't he? Unfortunately, but
I think Parker's even easier work.
yeah, yeah, again, yeah, Parker's easy work. It's almost listen, it's almost too fresh and too young. He's not even had a fringe world title fight yet, has he? Dillian White's a good stepping stone, but he needs a good two or three more rungs on the ladder before he's even considered for a world title. Um, but with his skill set, he's a technical fighter, isn't he? With power, so you could see him probably giving Usyk something to think about in 3 or 4 fights time. But chuck him in there now. I don't think he's even done 12 rounds, has he? And it'd be well out of his depth, I think.
Mm, yeah, okay. And who do you think next for John Coffey? Just a knockover.
Uh, I'd like to see the AJ one, and I'd like to see AJ come out and give it a one last hurrah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
At this level, instead of looking to get an easy fight with Jake Paul.
yeah, that's again circus stuff, that isn't it? But yeah, the Dubois. I mean, yeah, you could make an argument that revisit the Parker thing, but he doesn't. Parker don't deserve to get messed around like that. He pulled out the night before, didn't he? And then what's he going to do? Go calling back saying, "Oh, actually, we will fight you now." Um, yeah, probably. They'd probably give him a rebuilding phase, probably with a new trainer in his corner. To be honest with you, but we'll wait and see, won't
What do you think to Dillian White and Moses fight?
we? It's a good fight. Not as in like it's a mouth-watering fight that I think is going to be 50-50
Pay
or
per
anything like
view,
that.
isn't
But
it?
it's yeah, well, I wouldn't be paying no pay-per-view for it, put it that way. But it's a good fight for Moz's development in it. I think it's the perfect sort of level because he's done. the well-known journeyman. You Marius Vac, no one stops him, and he managed to stop him, and so he's proving that he's better than the average, isn't he? But the next step is, you need to fight someone who's been at the top table, which White has. Fell short a few times, but he's for namesake, it is a good step in the right direction for Moses. But then after that, it has to be a bit more of a live dog, and then perhaps a Cabel-ish kind of fight, a Cabel Parker kind of fight.
Zhang,
Zhang, yeah, these kind of names, the top kids.
Derek Chisora.
Yeah, Hergovich, one of them.
Let him
One of
get
them.
rid of them all and put them out to pasture.
Yeah, yeah. But it makes it sound like I'm not convinced with Moses. I am. I think he, on the eye, looks really good, and I'm certainly a fan uh, as it sits now. But I just don't want to see him get rushed too quickly, and there's no need really, is there? But once you start getting in them mandatory WBO positions, it is actually put up or shut up time, isn't it? You can't go lobbying for interim world titles and then not jumping in the deep end. So that's probably what's going to have to
Well, he
happen
can't
soon.
be ready because Bricktop hasn't pushed that mandatory for WBO. He's slipped Parker in, hasn't he? Just to give Moses a bit more time. Might need another year in. But as far
Yeah,
as I'm concerned, he's not been hit yet. And if they did put him in with Usyk within the next 12 months, they could finish him off for good.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's probably wise. He is a wise old dog, isn't he, Frank? And that is probably the correct thing to do. Let him learn his craft a bit more, and when he's ready, chuck him in for the world title. Don't be chucking him in now, because like I say, he's not been hit. Not no fault of his own. He's quite an evasive, clever boxer, and he's not been hit concussively yet, and he's not done the rounds for me. I've not seen him do a 10 or 12 rounder, I don't think. So they'd be good benchmarks, wouldn't they? But we'll wait and see, won't we?
A bit like Nathan Cleverly, he got a belt, didn't he, via email, a WBO, because Bramer couldn't get on a plane out of Germany because he were on bail, wasn't he? Well, point I want to make is Nathan Cleverly had not been hit. He were fighting bum after bum after bum from WBO rankings. And then once he come up against Kovalev, he got hit and got put on button moon, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah, I remember that. He had the fitness, then he had a good engine and stuff like that, but he weren't a big puncher cleverly. And when he got in with Kovalev, it's like anything that Nathan was hitting him with were doing nothing, and anything, literally even a jab that Kovalev hit Nathan cleverly with, were just destroying him, weren't it? So
I remember
it was a bit
Terry
of a
Old Conman, the referee, carrying him back to his corner after the first one. Do you remember?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What were all
It
that
was
about?
it was like it was geared up for Cleverly to win, but it was special. Was Kovalev in his prime? He was a scary man, weren't he? And yeah, he put a demolition job on that night.
Yeah. Dennis McCann's piped up and done an interview, first time in over a year. He's broke his silence on what's gone on, and he's saying he's the only one out of everybody that's telling truth. But the truth of the matter is, them steroids got in his system. They can only go in by a injection. I've heard. I don't know ups and ins and outs of it, but they're saying that it's a farce and that he's going to be cleared or something. But if that's the case, why has he been missing a year? And why can't somebody just ask him, well, how did this get in your system? Nobody seems to ask this in interviews, do they? How did it get in your system, Dennis or Connor or Roy Jones or Holyfield or James Tony or whichever one it is, Furies, whatever? How did it get in your system, Dennis? That is such a very simple question for these media people we access or friends of the promoters we access, shall we say. But why don't nobody just ask them simple questions? How's it getting your system?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I believe the one that he got popped for was like a proper bodybuilding one, weren't it? Like you say,
Yeah.
like one that you inject and stuff like that. So it's not you know if you can if you can ingest it somehow by eating, you've got a ready-made excuse like, oh, it was in some food and I didn't know, or I picked up the wrong drink and I didn't know, and blah 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 blah. When it's injecting, it's like, what can you even say? I was asleep and someone jabbed me up my backside, or I do not know how you can wriggle yourself out of that one. But if there's one thing that these boxers that pop can do, it's they can wriggle out of it, can't they? And carry on with their careers because we've seen it time and time again. So I'm sure he'll be back out on Bricktop Shores, won't he, McCann, before we know it.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't mind him actually, and they've learned a lot off the Conor Benn episode because with the Conor Benn episode, they wanted to go out there and scream blue murder, they were innocent and all that. They had no choice because they were caught, weren't they, trying to put the show on and keep it all quiet. But nobody pulls them up about this, do they? Has anybody said to Eddie Hills, should I say, Eddie, why did you try and cut a deal with Eubank to keep quiet about the dope test with Connor? And don't you feel and do you feel guilty, Eddie, about all them people that kept buying tickets for days on end and you were burying not one test that you tried to bury, but two? Why ain't anybody putting it on them? Simple questions, aren't they, really?
Yeah, and you could also, pull out receipts and be like, hey, hang on, Eddie, weren't you saying this about Big Baby Miller all them years ago? How it's disgusting and it's a disgrace and he should have bans and they should have this and they should have that. Where's that energy now with Connor? You know what I mean? They could pull out actual evidence where he's contradicted what he's saying, but
Well, like when he had
no,
Canelo, when he tested dirty, and
yeah,
then
no one's going to stick it on him.
within a few years, he's walking around in matching pajamas like Canelo's, wasn't he? Remember?
Yeah, we're calling him Saul. Yeah, I've just been on the phone with Saul. He's like he's round for Christmas dinner and they're really good
Yeah,
mates and that.
yeah.
He's got a way of doing that, hasn't he? But yeah. I think it's rife in the sport. I mean, I've never been into bodybuilding as such. I like to do a bit of weights and that, but I've never been a bodybuilder. But I think having trained in these kind of gyms where they're full of roid heads and stuff, I think I've developed an eye where I know when someone's on the juice. You can sort of see it.
Mm.
And when I look at some boxers, I think he's definitely on. So, do you know what I mean? Like,
Well, I've
I
seen
think it's
most
rife.
too. I've seen
Yeah, I think it's
most too.
rife.
But nobody ever says, "Yeah, I'm guilty." There's only been one at the Larry Alabama.
Yeah,
He's all
yeah.
one. Yeah, I were guilty. I were a sprinter and all that. And I think there's one woman as well from Europe, and that's it. Everybody else, no, 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 I'm innocent. You're stitching me up. Like a Buxton. You're trimming me up like a Buxton chicken.
I
So
mean, if you look at Holyfield against Mike Tyson, the one where he chewed his ear off. If you look at Holyfield's physique, there, I'm not being funny, mate. Like that's bodybuilding roid head 101. His lats are jumping out at you. His traps and everything. I mean, I'm not going to accuse him, but he did actually pop, didn't he? So,
yeah, and he was trained
yeah,
by Lee Haney, wasn't it? Former Olympian. And
yeah. I think it's clear to see with your eyes in it, but at the end of the day, they're probably all on it, aren't they? So,
yeah.
whatever.
Okay. The Lazy Rhino against Mbedoff, October 11th, Sheffield. Does it happen? And can the Rhino beat him?
Does it happen? He needs to get out there and he needs to stay active, doesn't he? So if he's taking his career seriously, it has to happen. It is a good opponent, isn't it? It's the guy had a bit of traction behind him, didn't he? Before he got beat by Cabel on one of them Riyadh season shows. But he's a big sort of Neanderthal, scary looking Russian, isn't he? But I've not seen anything from him that makes me think, oh, he's a world beater or a real contender. So I would give Dave Allen a chance. Although it just depends on what he brings in it. We don't know what we're going to get with Dave Allen. As long as he stays off the chips and pizzas and stuff and stays fit, but
Lion
it's all a
bars.
big if. Yeah, it's all a big if, isn't it? I think he'd probably start as the underdog in that fight because, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't be a betting man on that fight, put it that way, because he could quite easily stink it out, couldn't he, Dave? Like he's done with, he did with Fraser Clark and that. He could turn up like that, couldn't he? But he's got momentum. He's had that win, knockout over Fisher, so it's in his interest to go and do a job on the kid, isn't he? Especially if it's in Yorkshire, he's back garden, and it should have the bit between his teeth, really, shouldn't he?
Well, they were talking Joshua, Wilder, and Parker for the White Rhino. Now it's Aslan Makhmedov.
But that for me, that's more like it though. That's more like it. Them other names, they're putting him on button moon, as you like to say. I don't think he's competitive with them names. Even obviously they're all shot, aren't they? Wilder and Joshua, but call them shot all you like. I think Joshua does damage to Dave Allen, if I'm being honest with you. Just too big, too fit, and just punches too concussively for that plodding style. What Dave Allen has, and he's not exactly. You don't have to go looking for him, do you? He's not the hardest to hit, even though he's quite slippery. When he's plodding, he takes shots, doesn't he? So yeah, I could only see that ending badly. But this Makhmedov, yeah, that's more like it. I think he's got a good chance, really.
Well, we're going to see, aren't we? We're going to see. Let's hope that he can put him away, and then go put Fisher away again, because they're going to want that at some point. That Fisher trilogy, aren't they?
Financially, probably, yeah. But I don't know. I don't think Fisher wants that kind of hiding again. And it's they're all pals again, aren't they? They're all mates, and they've been on the pads together, and they're little boyfriends now, aren't they? So I don't know whether that would materialise again. To be honest, Dave's on a higher trajectory at the minute than Fisher is, so we'll see. It all depends on what happens with this Makhmedov fight, innit?
Yeah.
If he loses, then yeah, the Fisher fight's definitely got potential. But if he wins, I think he's moved up a level, and he's in his rear view, is Fisher, by that point.
What do you think to Conor Ben sparring Joey Essex and knocking him about? What's all that about? A YouTuber, a Misfits fighter.
What did he put it on him? Did he put a bit of a beating
Joey
on him?
Essex has come out and said he sparred him last year, and Crusher filled him in.
Yeah, there's no need for that. Well, if that's how it is, if that's the way he's selling it, then there's no need for that. I don't, unless he's done it in a controlled environment where it's, you're in boxing now, this is what it's like. But if he's actually sunk a few dirty shots in the body to him and stuff like that, there's nothing that's to be learnt from that, is there? No. But if it's all gimmicky and all for Instagram and stuff, then yeah, it's, I sparred Conor Ben and blah, blah, blah. It's probably all for clicks and likes, innit, mate? And they probably all went out for tea that night and held hands, didn't they? It's just probably one of them stories that they're spinning for a few reactions from the fans, mate.
Yeah, they've been sat there in the Alex in Essex, giving each other a reach around.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, then, okay. Well, listen, thanks for coming on, Ellis, lad.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Yeah.
Well, and keep in touch, mate, and have a great day, what's left of it.
Will do, mate. Off to gym now, off to gym.
Right, cheers, mate.
All right, bud. See you in a bit.
That were Ellis from Blackburn. Women love him, men want to go gym with him. That's about it, really. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment and share the videos on your WhatsApp amongst your pals. Don't forget to look at the pinned link in the comments section, pinned by me, Hawkish Corner. I'm looking at that for a website. Let me know what you think. All right. Well, pop, bang. Booyaka.